Hello, this is Greg from SharePoint Maven, and in today's video, I would like to show you how you can keep the files that you synchronized from SharePoint locally on your computer, on your PC. I'm actually going to show you two different ways how to do so. Let me first kind of explain to you what I'm talking about. So here I have a document library. Happens to be just an HR theme site, and I have a document library with a bunch of folders. And because I like to access everything from the convenience of my, Windows Explorer of my computer, I, decide to sync stuff locally on my computer. Now, the sync happened rather quickly. You probably did not notice it. And the reason for that is because when you essentially sync a library, it doesn't actually sync the contents of the files. It just syncs the file names and the folder names and the folder structure. Let me prove this to you. So essentially, what happened when I synchronized? This is my Windows Explorer. And on the left-hand side, you can see I synchronized my OneDrive for Business, that is, which is my personal stuff. So I synchronized this to my computer already. And under the building icon, and this would be the name of your organization, I happen to synchronize two different libraries. One for the board side, some library I have on a board side, and then this HR document library that I just showed you in SharePoint. So you probably recognize this. Essentially, all these folders are the same exact folders I have over here. Essentially, I just synchronize the entire library to my computer. But here is a twist. All right, in reality, none of these files. So let me go inside of one of these folders, for example. None of these files are actually on my computer. It seems like they are, but they are not. And the reason for that is because by design, by default, when you press the sync button, it does something called files on demand. Essentially, it just synchronizes the folder hierarchy, the folder and file names, but it doesn't actually synchronize the actual content of the documents. It doesn't do so until I, click on the document and start making some changes. All right. So you see, I click on this document. Let's close it. You will notice that the icon here has changed from white cloud icon to this green, checkbox. And the reason for that is because, right, this files on demand feature, this is great if you have limited space on your laptop. Imagine if you have lots and lots of documents, let's say, I don't know, 50 gigabytes of data or 100 gigabytes of data in your library. And obviously, if you sync that entire library, you might be out of storage on your computer. So for this reason, Microsoft essentially by default, by design, enabled this feature called Files on Demand. And what that means is that the files are actually not downloaded to your computer until you click on them and, I guess start making changes. But here's the issue. This method works great if you always work, let's say, from home office, you always have Wi-Fi connection. But here's a challenge. Let's say I now need to maybe, fly on airplane, and I need to work on a few files. Obviously, when I am on airplane, and let's say there is no Wi-Fi on airplane, and I try to, access some of this, files and folders, I will not be able to. All right. Essentially, at that point, it will try to download the document, and because there is no Wi-Fi, I will not be able to download them to my computer at that point of time. So I will not be able to work. So that's essentially what I'm going to show you right now. Two different ways to get the files to be stored locally, on your device. Option number one. So let's say, let's say I have all these document libraries that I synchronized, but really when I fly on an airplane, I just need to work on this folder and everything inside. So I really don't need anything else, local on my computer. It can be synchronized, but I don't need it locally. I just need to access this folder and everything inside in the offline mode. So in this case, what you need to do is right-click, obviously before you go and fly on an airplane, right-click on that folder, and you say always keep on this device. And what will happen now, it already did, you see it changed the icon from white cloud icon to this green solid, checkbox. And essentially, if I click inside, all the files, all the content inside will be downloaded physically, locally to my computer as well. So what that means is that now, if I fly on airplane and I try to access, I open up my laptop, try to access Windows Explorer, I will not be able to work on any of these other folders, but this folder and everything inside, I will be able to access. And obviously, once I land, once I, go back to the office and have Wi-Fi again, those files will remain, locally on my computer, but they will be synchronized back to, SharePoint or OneDrive, depending on where I, synchronize them from. So that was option number one. In this case, I kind of knew ahead of time, right, which folder I will need. Let's just say I have no idea. I really need everything locally on my, essentially on my computer. Or maybe, I walk out of an area that has really poor Wi-Fi, and essentially I just need everything all the libraries, I want them not only synchronized, but also be available locally on my computer. So let me show you what you need to do for this. In this case, what we need to do is essentially disable files on demand. To do that, you click on the blue cloud icon, and you click on the little gear icon, settings, and under the by the way, under the account tab, you're going to see it just shows you all the places you synchronize. So you see I synchronize my OneDrive and some board site library and this HR document library. You need to click on Sync and Backup, Advanced Settings, and then scroll down a bit. And under Files on Demand, just make sure to click Download All Files and click Continue. It gives you a bit of a warning. Essentially, it tells you what's going to happen. Essentially, just telling you, hey, we're going to download everything, so you better have some storage and space available on your computer. So click Continue. And now what's going to happen, it might take a while, by the way. It's probably not going to take a while in my case because I don't have a lot of documents here. But if you have really large libraries, you're going to see all those white cloud icons change to the solid green checkbox. Now you see everything, including my OneDrive, everything now gets the solid green checkbox. It means that files are not only synchronized by the now available local on my computer. So that means that if let's say I don't have Wi-Fi for a few hours, I can still keep working. And then when Wi-Fi is back, essentially all the changes will magically be synchronized to SharePoint. So that's all I wanted to share in this quick video. This question comes up quite often from my loyal followers and clients. So I decided to record this video. In case obviously you prefer to access the files from your Windows Explorer, and on top of that, if you have situations when you don't have Wi-Fi for periods of time, this few techniques might actually help you out. All right, so that's all. Once again, I wanted to share in this video. Hopefully you learned something new. As always, happy to see you on my blog, SharePointMaven.com. And hope to see you on my YouTube channel again as well. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.